So, Ellen, you mentioned lymph system. So, are you curious to understand about like flow or status of it, or did you have a specific question that you were looking into? And obviously, I will preface by saying I am not a doctor. I cannot provide medical advice, but I can share insights and suggestions that come through, and you can take them as you will, or consult any practitioners that you are working with. Sometimes when it comes to health readings, it's food for thought, or it's like, oh, have you considered this, or have you talked to that kind of a person? And it just allows you to get some wheels turning or make some adjustments or to validate some of the practices that you already have in place. I have a swollen leg. It's hanging on longer than ever before. So, Ellen, are you saying that you've had a swollen leg previously and it's related to what's happening with your lymphatic system and it's just not fully, it's not clearing? Okay. All right. So we'll see what comes through. I'm getting a few different things here. One of them is it's like a straw, like puncturing water. It looks like a water pouch or something. And I can't tell if this is just getting at hydration or if it's about drainage. So again, not a medical professional, so I don't know which way this is supposed to be taken 100%. Oh, there was something else. I lost it while I was talking. Hold on, let me go back. Something about the management of it. Like, what kind of a management plan do you have with your provider? Like, do you have a specific schedule or routine or regimen that you're sticking to tend to this? Because I mean, based on your language here, it sounds like this is something that's chronic. So what's happening? Is there something about, again, it's like adjusting the management plan, because it could be that your body, like there's some other factor, there's something that's come into play that's just shifting the baseline a little bit. So it has the management plan being revisited. It's been swollen for almost 2 months. I'm now working with therapists. Okay. Not really chronic. It came in unexpected, but it's long term. Yeah. So it just seems like it's like back to the drawing board with the management plan. So you could bring up asking them about how hydration is playing a role, or drainage possibilities or potential. Again, I don't know the science specifically behind that, but those were the things that were coming in, and just kind of seeing what they say about it, see if it sparks anything. Because it feels like it's more than just, oh, I'll just like put my legs up or something. That it feels like it's more complicated than that, because it's how the whole system is operating. And it's not just as simple as, well, I'm on my feet all day long, especially when it's only on one side versus both. Okay, there's something else before I flip the card over. I almost forgot about the card. I'm getting the encouragement for you. So if you just dropped in, I think you said that you just dropped in. You might have missed the readings. I don't know if you heard the recap, but I'm getting to go back when it comes out to listen to the first reading. That was the one we were talking about unbuckling, loosening tension, changing our approach, changing our perspective so we can see a little bit more context around whatever the circumstances are and allow for more of the giving and receiving and flow, etc. Yeah, exactly. Because it's about ease and the energetic exchange. So it feels like for you in particular, like sitting in the pocket of that, trying to think about the lessons of that reading as you are approaching this week. Like, how can you just widen the scope, see the things that are slightly out of view, other possibilities, and how can you put yourself in a position of receiving the support you need, but it's the energetic flow, it's the exchange, it's how can you get, and with the lymphatic system, so it's like it is about flow as well. It's about getting things to move and not be clogged up. And so if your leg is swollen because it's not moving properly and there's like a backup essentially in your leg, then that does also feel like that makes a lot of sense. Okay, interesting pairing to go with this. So this is the sisterhood card, and I'll explain some different interpretations of this. The mantra reads, "We are all sisters and reflect the divine in one another." Typically, when this card comes up, there's a few different options. One, it's encouragement to connect to women in your community. So family members, friends, for either support, for ideas, for a sense of community, for a sense of connection. It also can pick up on the divine feminine energy, which we were hitting on a little bit in that first reading about the flow and receiving. So it's coming through like part of the piece in the puzzle, maybe part of you not, like you're only seeing a certain slice of the 360, is what is happening energetically with your sense of equilibrium and balance. Because I actually was so funny. I was just listening to a podcast right before getting on the call where somebody was talking about this, that sometimes we can have physical manifestations of illnesses or tension or something. And it's because we have an emotional block, or we're not living our authentic selves. And it translates, it manifests into some sort of like physical ailment. So it seems like there is potentially some percentage of your 360 is about, okay, it's coming across like a good third of your 360 is relating to where you are putting your energy and being in a state of receiving in a way that you are creating not to produce, but you're creating and connecting to joy, that you are able to ask for help, to give and receive, to not have a huge burden, huge weight of a mental load and all of the things that you are carrying, not only for yourself, but for other people. Just some examples. But this is coming across like this is like a life pattern, and being able to tend to and resolve that, as an example, with the recommendations from this reading number 1 for the week ahead, starts the process. If you remember, I was explaining for both of the readings for this week, they felt like a transition. They're beginning a new era for you over the next many months or a couple years. And so this is a big bulk of the work. Like, how can you nurture that more? How can you live feeling inspired? Maybe not everything that I said in my examples applies, but what does apply is not feeling jazzed about life, not feeling excited about anything in particular. Sometimes just being able to be in a flow state and lose track of time because we're having so much fun or we're enjoying the creative process or whatever it is, that gives us fuel. And if we are away from our passions and our interests and we're just in a mode of doing and executing all the time, we lose a little bit of our soul, our joy. So it seems like there's a component here that regardless of what specific medical conversations you can have with this team, there were again a couple ideas that had dropped in, but knowing holistically, it's like, how can you lean into this receiving, connecting with women, connecting with your sense of divine feminism, joy, inspiration, receiving, etc. And really just focusing on that, especially this week, but and beyond, because it's healing for the soul. And when the soul can be healed and when you can be at peace and you can calm your nervous system down and all of that good stuff, it has a ripple effect and it helps with the healing process for your body. And the hope here is that in doing some of this work, maybe it will help mitigate it, or maybe it'll calm your system down because it's inflamed, and then it will be easier for doctors to identify specific root cause. So it feels like it's a piece of the puzzle, but it's like it's an important piece to tend to. And this week is the perfect time to start going in that direction, start incorporating it more. Okay, got it. Yes, you got it. Letting support in with joy. Yes, yes, yes. Beautiful. Things can flow. Important piece. I agree. Thanks. You're welcome. And feel free to keep me updated. Let me know how this goes. But I love the fact that I was sitting here. I'm like, oh, I feel like I'm getting a connection with the first reading, and then the perfect card to complement the first reading is this one. So yeah, it definitely was meant to be. But lots of things to think about. But we don't want to think too much, because that's going against the first reading. We want to have a shift in how we are thinking so that we can lean into more of the flow and ease and joy and sense of peace, connection to our authenticity, all that good stuff.